Edmonton XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome you into the end of the week. The new drug today is, do you realize we're about a week away from the Players' Championship?
Love it.
How about that?
I'm ready.
Our buddy Lee Smith.
The Island Green.
Lee Smith stops by about 20 minutes, and we'll talk all about preparations and how close we're getting, and we're certainly excited about that. So, a little golf talk coming up on the program today. I look forward to that.
You know what I want? I want sunny.
Yeah.
72.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind seeing some wind, some diabolical wind.
Yeah, really wind on set. What kicks up on 17. You want them to hit right into it on 17.
Oh yeah.
Wind's coming right at them.
Yeah.
I think it's a wedge. I might hit 9-iron and then stays there. When it really gets in, if you've been on 17 1,000 times like we all have, when the wind's really blowing in, the ball gets up in the air and just sort of stops.
Yeah.
It really does. Mm-hmm. If you've seen that hole, it'll be interesting, as you know, and I know you do, of the balls in the water on 17, every year more go over the back than in the front.
Correct.
More balls go over the back.
You think that's adrenaline?
Well, I'll ask Lee that question more than anything else, but I think I don't know that answer. But typically, a lot of it's based on the pin, but the way the greens undulated a little bit, it's not ball. You know the pros do. They back it up. They put you should have heard the beep 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 backup sign because they spin it back on par threes a lot. So I'll ask Lee that. That's a good question. Why are more balls over than short when he gets here? So a lot of fun stuff to talk about today on the program. We'll wrap up the final thoughts from the combine. We'll talk about the Matt Stafford deal. I will say this, and I think every media guy I know feels this way, including I think both of us. What were they thinking about not bringing Matt Stafford back?
It never made sense.
It never made sense. I agree with you. It's hard to find good quarterbacks, veteran quarterbacks, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, guys that know your system, guys that connect with your coach and your play caller, guys that connect in the locker room when there's still plenty left. It's hard to find. It's like terribly hard to find that guy. On what world would you say, nah, well let's go find another guy? It never made sense.
Never made sense. And again, that's an organization that, obviously does things the right way. We've talked about the love letter that the Jaguars wrote to Sean McVay this offseason with their actions. And, in looking at it, you're 10-7. You won the West. You obviously gave the Eagles, the world champions, an incredible scare. Why would you look at doing something so volatile? Is switching out your starting quarterback. The only thing that would have given me pause is if Sean McVay really believed that Aaron Rodgers had something left, then maybe that would make some sense. But why would you? Matthew Stafford's such a great fit for you, and you've had such great success with him, and you're coming off a double-digit win season. So it never made a lot of sense for me. I do think it's good for the Jaguars because – if Stafford had gotten traded to a quarterback-needy team at the top of the draft, well, that's obviously one less quarterback that's going. That's one less availability to possibly be able to trade back and collect some more draft ammunition. So I think it's good for the Jaguars that this happened, but I never thought it made any sense for the Rams to move off of Stafford, and it doesn't make sense for him. There was no other option, in my opinion, that was going to give him the chance to win as much as I think he can win with the LA Rams.
Yeah, so it made no sense to me either. So we'll certainly talk about that. All right, topics for today I want to get into later. My question for you, don't answer it now, answer it about 4:40. If the draft plays out, and again, we won't know what has happened in free agency beforehand. Draft questions I always think are a little bit silly because you don't know what's going to happen in free agency, which could affect the positions you need. But that notwithstanding, if the way it plays out, if you get to number 5 and Travis Hunter has dropped and Mason Graham and McMillan are still there, who are you taking? Don't answer now.
Yeah, it's good that you told me that because I tend to jump the gun.
Okay, yeah.
So I will not jump the gun.
Do not jump the gun.
And I will wait to answer.
At 4:40, but if Travis Hunter drops and Mason Graham is still there, what do you do? And I asked this to all the Mason Graham people, which is most of the people with whom I've spoken. McMillan, there's some there too, but so that'll be a fun topic. I want to get to that coming up. later on. I'm going to talk a little bit about Travis Hunter. What will he be? How good will he be? How will he fit? And even a little bit about Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, I thought, was interesting. Did you watch him today? Watch his podium? It was an interesting podium. I'm not sure what to make of it. I'm not sure what to. It's great that you're confident and loose and laid back, and he's a really good player. But that's the lead. That's going to be the leader of your team. That's not like it's not like a corner or a slot receiver shows up with I'm very interested. I want to get your thoughts on that. So an interesting day today at the Combine. So we'll certainly talk about that coming up on the program today. What are the next moves for the Jags? We'll get to that in a second in free agency. College basketball, huge weekend now. Florida's got game. Does game day matter in basketball? It's everything in football.
It's everything in football.
If it's coming football, they're staying overnight. They got all the signs. It is there's no better tip of the cap to where your program is today. None. No better acknowledgement than you see on now social. That they used to have to wait to see the promo on TV. Now you see on social the game day showing up at your town for Game X. There's nothing better. There's nothing that excites a fan base better. They start making those signs, bro. They're making those signs the minute they hear it. Mm-hmm. They're making them for a week or two. They're in their dorm rooms making it. They get their crack of dawn because they want to get their good spot. You've been to a game day, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We've all been to. Not just watched it, but I've worked enough college games that, and again, working national college games for 7 years. I got to game day a lot. There was a lot of times when game day was there, So, and we've seen it when Florida was really good and FSU was really good.
Game day lived in the state of Florida.
They did, and so, does it matter in basketball?
I don't think it's a tenth of the meaning. I think for the fan, it's cool.
Yeah, that's right.
I think where it really helps you is in the recruiting element. In terms of the high school kids that are probably locked in on it. Certainly active college basketball players, I would imagine watching game day is probably part of their routine, at least catching some of it, while they wait for their walkthroughs or whatever, particularly, depending on when their tip time is on Saturday. So I think it's most valuable for the awareness it gives you to actual players, whether that's portal guys that might enter the portal or high school recruits. So I do think it helps from a recruiting standpoint. I don't think this is going to help really from a crowd standpoint because there's such a distance between game day ending at noon and tip is at 8:30.
Well, and in football that happens too, but it's okay because they're two separate events.
Right.
This you're right.
And you're tailgating all day anyway.
And that's great call. You're there anyway all day anyway. It just feels like. But I agree.
I think it'll be an electric environment.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been that anyway. I don't think game day being there 8.5 hours before the start of the game is going to affect the atmosphere.
And I applaud ESPN for trying to build basketball game day into what football game day became. It's just never going to happen.
Right.
College basketball in our country will never be what college football is. There was a time in the 80s, I keep referencing that Big East run in the 80s, Hays, but there was a time when Kentucky, Kansas, Duke, North Carolina, Indiana were all great, UCLA, and the Big East teams were great. And so you wondered, there was a time in the 70s, you're not old enough, neither one of you guys are old enough to remember this. I'll ask Lee, he might not be either. There was a time in the 70s where tennis was a way bigger deal than golf. People were way more concerned about Connors and McEnroe and Arthur Ashe and Chris Evert than they were about any golfers other than Nicholas Palmer and maybe Trevino. They just were Tom Watson. They just were. A casual sports fan, Hays, in the mid 70s could name more tennis players than golfers. Can you believe that?
Oh, absolutely.
You could name more.
I think tennis was bigger in the 80s. Like when I was growing up.
That's when the transition started.
I mean, in the 80s, I thought McEnroe, Becker, Lindell, Edberg, Martina, Chris.
Right.
They were all, in my opinion, the only golfers that were really there were, well, obviously Jack, Arnie was still playing, but wasn't obviously in his peak anymore.
Couples and Norman and we're
it wasn't even close.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
being a sports fan at that, it wasn't even close.
It really wasn't close in the 70s.
Yes, which I can absolutely believe.
So it turned. But I almost thought in the 80s, would college basketball make a run on college football? You just kind of want, and it never did, because football is football. Football. I'm the biggest baseball fan in the world, but baseball's not our pastime. Football's our pastime. Football's been our national pastime for as long as most of
probably since the millennium, I would say, and maybe even going back a little bit
before that. Probably before that. So anyway, but we'll game days in Gainesville. We'll certainly talk about that. Florida, Texas A&M. A&M's lost 3 times in a row. The Gators play the Canes in baseball this weekend. JJ, do you care? You care?
No.
You don't care?
No. I mean, when I was a kid, when we were like winning titles and we were really good, I would start watching when it was on TV. But now it's crazy because you can watch way more college baseball now. You can watch every game on ESPN Plus, but correct. I'm much more of a Major League Baseball fan.
Yeah, and I think you're in the majority on that. Here's the beauty of college baseball. Why I really like college baseball, but I'm more of a Major League fan than I'm a college fan. But I like the Gator baseball thing because the real beauty of college baseball is, man, when you win, that's freaking great. And if you lose, who cares?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, if we get to Omaha, I'm like, hell yeah. And if we don't, I'm like, okay.
I mean, during most of the year last year, Florida wasn't very good. I didn't care. But once they got good and went to Omaha, it was freaking awesome.
A lot of fun.
So it's good to have, like, the downside isn't there. The bad thing about being a college football fan, the good is the glory is great. The bad is the gut-wrenching just is not fair. Mm-hmm. It's just not fair the way it yanks your heart out and stomps on it. And
all week. That's all you think
about. The whole week you got nothing you can do about it.
And then the off-season, like, imagine you lose to both your rivals and you went 3-10 or whatever. Right. And,
It's just crushed. You have
a coach you have to pay, like, for 10 more years.
Where are you going with this, JJ?
Oh, goodness.
But I fully expect Florida to stomp all over Miami. Miami's got a good record, but they've been down the last few years.
You're talking about baseball.
Yes.
And they play in Gainesville. They flip every year. They play in Gainesville this year. So
his record against Miami might be one of the most incredible things that a Florida coach has ever accomplished.
Yeah.
Considering what the series
I feel like it was like right after Morrison left, maybe.
Yeah. Well, and what is his rate? It's like,
I'd have to look it up.
But he's dominated Miami. Yeah. Well, what makes it so amazing is Florida never dominated Miami in baseball until he got there. And like you're right, Jim Morris had left. Rich Kelly was just okay, and they never really found that coach again. Skip Bertman, they never really found it again, so interesting. So was Skip Bertman ever the Miami coach? He was the LSU coach for all those years. He was a Miami assistant to Ron Fraser. I don't know if he was ever the Miami coach. I'm trying to remember. He might not have been. So, but anyway, they play this weekend, so we'll certainly talk about that. All right, I got a lot of things to talk about on the program today. You've got a question you're going to answer at 4:40 and expound on it. But let's start with golf. We'll take a break. When we come back, our friend Lee Smith stops by from the Players Championship. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
The world will be watching Ponte Vedra.
And the Scheffler victory train just keeps on rolling.
Get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates.
Teed up by Roundtree Sauce,
Surfside Pools,
and Performance Painting
on 1010XL.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. 2024 Topps Chrome football has been super popular to end February. 100 rookies from the 2024 class are included, while bigger chases are Caleb Williams and Drake May with autograph cards. Topps Chrome football at Showtime. Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Don't miss the Players Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious fights to the Sawgrass Splash, there are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Whether it's a leaky pipe, a backed-up septic tank, or your heater isn't keeping things cozy, call Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here from the Blue Crab Crab House. February means the Mardi Gras menu returns to the Blue Crab Crab House. Gumbo, shrimp Orleans, blackened redfish, appetizers, dessert, and more. This includes, of course, the regular menu where you get crabs from the Alaskan waters, the Canadian waters, the Southern Georgia waters. It's only at the Blue Crab Crab House. Doors open at 4:30, San Jose, and, of course, Jewington Creek Road.
Mia O'Brien is going to be the first woman president of the United States of America.
Catch me weekdays from noon to 2 on Helmets and Heels.
And she could run later this year even, and I would vote for her.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota on 1010XL.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Warm weather means the beach, fishing, golf, and more. Make sure to drop into Daly's and grab a cold case to go. From Bud Light to their seltzer, from Mick Ultra to Modelo, or your favorite crafts like Old City or Sweetwater. Grab and go at your local Daly's.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local women-owned solar company. At Clay Solar, we're more than just panels and power. We're about people. We make the switch to clean energy simple, stress-free, and built to last. If you've had a bad experience with solar in the past, we can help. We specialize in dependable solutions and top-notch customer service, so you can finally enjoy the savings and sustainability you deserve. Schedule your free consultation at claysolar.com.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
All right, we thank our friends from Big Chief with 5 locations on the First Coast. Orange Park's the newest one, the south side, the north side, and 2 on the west side. Thank you to Big Chief Tire. Frank Frangie. Hays Carlyon, our buddy Lee Smith is here, the executive director of the Players Championship. Ooh, we're getting close.
We are.
Close, right?
Absolutely.
You get excited now? Nervous? Uptight? Ready?
No, excitement. All excitement. You know, have to keep from looking at long-range forecasts and some of those things that can keep you up at night.
Right,
so
right.
Try not to peek at those things. But no, certainly excited. The team has done a great job from the club team with agronomy, golf course is in great shape, to our operations and tournament services team of putting all the venues together and building out, to all of our partners, signage, food and beverage. Everything's really coming together, and we got only about a week to get show ready before opening weekend next Friday.
In your job, there's a lot of stuff in there. We just forget about the stuff. I mean, who would think about signs for the sponsors?
Yeah.
I mean,
think about furniture, Frank.
Yeah.
I mean, the when you build 500,000 square feet under tent, multi-decker, it all needs chairs and tables and bars and cups and napkins and like I say, our tournament services team and ops teams do such a great job.
Well, the good thing for you, Lee, is all you have to worry about is all of it. I mean, I can only imagine. I'm serious.
Well, at this point, it's like I say, that the things we kind of turn it over to the things we don't control, which are the weather and the leaderboard, and those things will take care of itself.
Tuesday is always such a fun day out there. Give us a reminder of the activities that'll be going on, and are tickets still available for Tuesday for people that want to go attend Military Appreciation?
Absolutely. Tuesday is being one of the largest military communities in the country. Hays is 1 in 4 people that you run across are veterans, families of veterans, and Tuesday's just our way to pay tribute to our men and women in uniform and those that build that community here, as well as an opportunity for our fans to do the same thing. And starting at, as you say, starting at 4:30, we have our ceremony. Got a couple of surprises that'll be really neat announcements leading into Jordan Davis with the concert from 5 to 6. And yes, tickets are still available. We've really gotten a great response to Jordan Davis, and we're going to have some exciting things and ways to bring him to the stage that we haven't done in the past. So hope everybody's there and ready for a great show.
No, that's great. I'm glad there are tickets available, and it's one of the best days of the year in Jacksonville. It really, the whole week's great, but it's one of the great. It's to your point, Lee, that gives all of us, with you guys kind of leading us, but it gives all of us a way to thank the military that's so important in our city. It's a big day. It's one of the best days of the year. I really believe that.
And we F-16 flyover this year that we'll have. Hopefully that's one of those things that the team does a great job of timing that thing down to the second. So that's always a fingers crossed moment that we all get it right. But no, it is, Frank, an exciting day and really one that's. While we're putting it together is full of gratitude to those men and women in uniform, but also to the fans for coming out and celebrating that group with us.
Lee, what is the update on all tickets, parking tickets, all the rounds? Where do you stand?
Yeah, appreciate that. The group, really good news is we've got great momentum, great support. Right now, all stadium pass tickets are still on sale. Parking has been sold out Friday and Saturday. Thursday and Sunday are not far behind. That doesn't mean that parking's not available. There's parking available as people have purchased it and put it on a secondary site or those types of things. So still available, but parking is sold out from our side. And then one of our new products last year that's really an exciting position we talked a lot about last year on 12 and 13. The Intercoastal Club is sold out on Friday and Saturday. So we're excited about that product has continued to gain momentum, and watching, 2 exciting holes like 12 and 13. It's really a cool area as an entry-level hospitality to, have a place to go.
And to grow the game, you guys do such a outstanding job with this, with the youth program. Any ticketed adult can bring one junior 15 and under for free, correct?
Yeah, and actually two juniors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I say this. We do talk, and I appreciate you bringing it up every time. We think that we have the best junior policy in all of sports, bar none, and the opportunity for a fully paid adult to bring 2 juniors under 15 and under complimentary is. One of those things that is a benefit to the fans, certainly, and that's something that'll be around for a long time. But it's a benefit to us to see young kids, there. That's to me, that's the definition of growing the game, right? Is to see 15 and under kids on the ropes, getting autographs, seeing the people that they aspire to be, and watch the players and the players interact with them. It's a really fun program for us, and really one that we're proud of.
Yeah, and I agree with you. The policy is fantastic. You should be proud of it. Back to 12 and 13 for a second. I'm glad we talk about that. 17's magical. There's a magic to it. It's maybe one of the most famous golf holes in the world. We all know that. But there's 17 other holes, and there are some great holes to watch. And you know me, I love 12. My favorite. I'm the dork that watches on the left side of 12. I told you this before. We sit there on Saturday with about 7 or 8 of us. Thank God we Ubered, and then we'll sit there on the side. We'll sit there and watch it. That's our fun. But between 12 and 13, that's a magnificent watch. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were to ask me, hey, what holes do I not know about that I should go and watch? 12 and 13 would probably be right at the top of the list. We've got great fan engagement areas there with Taco Lou and adding tequila this year. So instead of just tacos on 12, it's a fiesta on 12, but tacos and tequila. So there's a great fan activation area there also. Another hole that I think is very underrated for excitement is 4.
Great call.
Scotty Scheffler holed out there.
Yes.
Hal Sutton holed out there twice in one tournament.
That's a good call.
A lot of and so sitting on the backside of number 4 with a concession stand right behind you. It's never going to be super crowded like 16 and 17 is. Just a great place to see wedges dance around the hole, and one of those things that provides excitement, just like 12 and 13 does as a drivable par 4. I think 2 of the days we play that as drivable, and then 13 with the undulations on the greens. But a lot of exciting holes. That's one thing I always encourage if you're able to do that. Is to walk the entire golf course.
Absolutely.
And especially as a core golfer, take the time to do that, and then pinpoint the holes that you think you want to watch, and sit there and watch every group come through.
That's a good call on 4. I hadn't thought about that. 4 is not a long hole, but the water is kind of funky, like left front. So the shot in is an interesting shot.
Well, depending on hole location, it's very undulating, and players hit it away from the flag so that it travels down the undulation to the flag, depending on what day. A very exciting hole, and there tends to be, at least a couple of hole outs on that hole, just because of how the green, how the green sits and the undulation.
Speaking of holes, speaking of the front nine, is it with the great players? Is it like us? Like 5 and 7 are so freaking hard. Is it like that for them too, or does it not work that way? I mean, obviously we know what the scoring are. We know scoring's highest on 18 and 14 and all. But I mean, as far as just when they get there and play it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are the holes. You take 5 and 7. Those are the holes that are going to challenge them.
Okay. Even them.
Absolutely. Those will play. I'll tell you one interesting thing that we're using this year, and it kind of goes to your question. But we're actually using artificial intelligence to help us set up the golf course. And what I mean by that is our rules officials and teams have plugged in historical data, and then we'll combine that with current weather and proposed hole locations and proposed tee locations, and it'll spit out kind of a predictive index as to how that hole's going to play as far as average scoring, using all of that data and throwing it in a group, as opposed to kind of a finger in the wind type of thing. And certainly 5 and 7 fall in that category as difficulty. But I guess to context to that is, a lot of times if a hole's downwind, you put the tees back. If the hole's into the wind, you put the tees forward. And sometimes that it doesn't pan out that way with front hole locations, back hole locations, whatever it might be. But just the opportunity to use artificial intelligence in a lot of different ways, is a neat innovation to course setup, to fan engagement online, and how we describe shots is artificial intelligence, and using the historical data and the shot link data. It's a really neat way to watch the golf tournament.
It's cool.
Absolutely. Have you guys started thinking about pairings for rounds 1 and 2? How does that process work, and when does that begin?
Yeah, I'm sure it's already begun. I'm fortunate to not be a part of that process, so that I don't
I didn't know that. You're not involved in that.
I'm not. No,
Okay.
that's rules and competitions.
Okay. All right.
But there are formulas, as you can imagine. Certainly when you see, the list of players, there's always, windows in the morning and windows in the evening that provide, or in the afternoon that provide featured groups. There's formulas about how many times you've played with people and how many times you haven't, so that there's always a mix. I don't know the exact formulas, but it's certainly probably half science, and then there's a certainly an art to it. But and you combine how that's set up, which is as random as you can make it. Combine that with the weather, and there's always some kind of advantage, that's not intended, but is early Thursday, late Friday an advantage, or late Thursday, early Friday an advantage, just based on what wave you're in.
Yeah, interesting stuff. We were talking before you walked in here. Why are there more balls in the water on the back of 17 instead of the front? And why is it the guy? I mean, every year there's more to go over of all the balls in the water that are short. Why is that?
I would probably say that if you put land around that hole and forget about water,
right?
Amateurs tend to always be short.
Right, that's right.
Professionals tend to always be pin high or a little bit long.
Okay.
And certainly that
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
That probably mostly equates to the fact that they hit it on the center of the face more than we do.
Right.
They control their yardage more than we do, whereas amateurs are. I hit a 7-iron 155 once.
Right.
That doesn't mean you can hit your 7-iron 155.
Great point. Great point.
You
That
might
is
average
such a good
140,
point.
but you may have hit it once 155. And so I think that the tour players are so much more dialed in there, and then add firmness. Frank, how many balls over the years have you seen where maybe the whole location is 6 or 8 yards from the back?
Right.
Somebody has only flown it maybe 3 yards past the flag.
Right.
And that first hop ends up in the water, where if it was green, it would have spun back and the ball might have been 15 feet away.
Right.
They didn't miss by much. But I think more than often it's amateurs tend to be short. Professionals tend to be pin high or slightly long.
Yeah, we amateur hacks, all the smart people like Lee will always tell you use more club, but we're smarter than that. We're too smart. We're too smart to use more club. Even though every pro will tell us use more club because the amateurs are always short.
You're exactly right. And quite honestly, before that, I would even tell a player to go play 18 holes. All right. And instead of charting your putts, instead of charting how many fairways you hit, chart your approach shot. Whatever shot that you hit into the green, even if it was a 20-yard pitch or if it was a 5-iron, chart how many balls are short versus how many are long on your approach shot. And I bet for most amateurs, 90% of them are short.
No question. I mean, we're not long. Yeah. I mean, once in a while, you to your point, you'll accidentally hit one on the face,
Yeah, and that's the one that goes pin high. Whereas for an amateur,
right,
the one that you hit on the face should go long.
Right, that's right.
Play to your average. The long ones should be long. The bad ones short.
Yeah, great point.
I've got a feeling about Shane Lowry in this event. Does his game translate, in your opinion, to somebody that could capture the Players' Championship?
Yeah, it looks like Shane is trending the right direction. Certainly, and starting to play well. Kind of knock the rust off from taking time off that he usually does. It seems over the winter at least. He's made a hole in one at 17, one of the few. And certainly, I think the golf course can fit him if he's sharp. As we've always said, one of the, kind of core pillars of this tournament is the iconic golf course that favors no one other than the person that's playing the best. And Shane kind of fits that. He's not a long hitter, not a short hitter, can get on a roll where he putts it really, really well. But one of those things is it's just got to be playing well that particular week. And so if you're hitting it left to right, right to left, but I think all that to say is that he's got all the shots and certainly has the ability to do it here.
The Ludwig Oberg, who you've told us about before we even knew who he was, who now is playing great, is he? And we'll talk about picks and favorites next week when you're in here. But is he an obvious guy to watch?
Absolutely. I mean, as a Nocatee resident, and one of our locals that frequents the golf course, I think certainly familiarity, staying in your own bed, all of those kind of creature comforts that make things comfortable as opposed to being on the road, and then add in his unbelievable ability. The fact that he hits it as long as anybody and putts it as well as anybody, those things always become a favorite. And so I think he's got to be, one of those top 10 favorites.
All right. Final thing before you give us the number we do give away. You just said this course is in great shape. To the layman, all of us, what does that mean? Greens are rolling great. Everything's green. Rough's where you want it. What are the specifics and the details of course is in great shape?
Yeah, thanks, Frank. I think it, certainly starts with putting surfaces and goes to fairways and tees and rough but I think probably one level further and then add in aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's got to look good as far as carpet and those types of things. But I think it goes the one step further. That's probably the for the core golfer is that. Right now it's at the firmness and the moisture level is where we want it because we haven't had an overt amount of rain that has allowed us to almost lose control of how firm it is. And so the greens are in really, really good shape. But we always use this last week of, get some sun, continue to fill in and allow us to control all those things. But Jeff Plotz and Lucas Andrews, the team that has been really consistent from year to year, as our agronomy team that sets up the golf course, has done an unbelievable job again and continue to raise the bar year after year. And I think everybody that comes out to the tournament, will in a lot of areas be afraid, not just in the playing areas, but in the areas, where you will broadcast from and in the areas that everybody will have a drink. You're afraid to walk on the grass a little bit because it's just in such great condition, especially to start the week.
I can't wait. All right. We're giving away 2 tickets to the Wednesday. This is the Creator Classic. Tell us about the Creator Classic. The Creator Classic is...
Yeah, the Creator Classic is Wednesday. So one of the things that COVID created was, YouTube golf and just the popularity of being able to sit at home and watch others play golf and be entertained by it. And so the Creator Classic is basically some of 10 of the largest YouTube following content creators around golf. Names like Fat Perez, Gabby Golf Girl, Grant Horvat, Roger Steele, who's the voice of TGL on Monday and Tuesday nights, groups like that, or individuals like that. Barstool Golf, they're actually having a qualifier to see who comes down and plays in this event. So really an opportunity for us to extend the week, build another exciting day for the fans to follow. Their followings, Frank, 2/3 of all of their followings are age 18 to 34.
Wow.
So to look at the opportunity for more fans to engage that are a little bit different, that may have not been to a Thursday through Sunday round, but to do something different and extend the week of the tournament, Creator Classic is going to be a lot of fun. Starts at about 4:15 on Wednesday afternoon.
And that group will...
The back nine. They're going to play all back nine.
Okay.
So there's 3 groups. They'll play the entire back nine, 10 through 17.
Okay.
We'll identify the winner from each group.
Oh, good.
And then they'll go play 17 again. So the 3 people that'll win each group will go play 17 again for the playoff. We'll do a trophy ceremony out there and have a good time doing it.
And that group will play great to the crowd, too. So you'll enjoy that. Okay, 2 tickets to that, 2 tickets to the Wednesday round, and a $25 gift certificate to Four Rivers Barbecue, 641-1010. We want caller number
7.
7.
Nice.
7. your lovely wife Sue's helping on that. Okay,
Yeah.
Look, we know who runs the show anyway.
Right.
Okay,
100%.
So there you go.
100%.
So hey, great work. Thanks for coming in. I can't wait to see you next week. And next week we'll do some picks.
Thank you for the hats too.
Yeah, and the hats are phenomenal. Lee,
You
thanks,
got
buddy.
it.
We
Fresh off
appreciate
the press.
Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players Championship. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Let's take a look inside 1010XL.
Who wants the Grand Tour?
That would be terrific. That would be great.
We have the drill in the morning.
Very amusing.
Jaguars today from 10 to noon.
Good.
Helmets and heels until 2.
Yes.
XL Prime Time and the Frangie Show afternoons.
This is great.
Then Baloo and Hacker take you into the night.
All in one location.
1010XL.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Need a fast casual option that's healthy, fresh, and delicious? Choose the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. Gyros, salads, hummus, and more made completely fresh right as you order. Off 210 and St. John's Parkway. The Great Greek Mediterranean Grill.
The Jacksonville Icemen are back at home this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Savannah Ghost Pirates and Greenville Swamp Rabbits at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena for Military Appreciation Weekend. Presented by CSX and the Nimnick family of dealerships. Join as we honor our military with special jerseys and pregame festivities. Friday and Saturday's game time 7, Sunday at 3. You and your family can take a shot on goal on the ice after the game. Tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksIceman.com, or call 602-PUCK. Iceman Hockey is hashtag Frozen Frenzy.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WEALTH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Staying Alive, one night of the Bee Gees, comes to Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts March 6th. A tribute like you've never seen before. Staying Alive features the songs and sights of a full Bee Gees playlist, performed live. Experience Night Fever, More Than a Woman, How Deep Is Your Love, and more live on stage. Staying Alive, one night of the Bee Gees, March 6th at Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and you got really cool things going on right now because there's new product coming in the showroom. Tell everybody about the Aprilia Demo Days.
March 11th and 12th. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to have the Aprilia Demo Truck. We caught them on the way back from Daytona Bike Week. They're going to be there. Come ready to ride.
Tell everybody real quick about Aprilia.
They are a bad Italian motorcycle. Nobody's ever ridden an Italian anything and said that wasn't fun.
Check it out. Cycles of Jacksonville. All the details on their Facebook page.
Future NFL stars showcase their skills.
Let's go, guys.
Hodges Mazda presents the Frangie Show at the Combine, opened by Window World of Northeast Florida. Roll through the off-season with AA Automotive on Richard Street and 1010XL.
Youth sports at the YMCA's focus on teamwork, discipline, and building confidence. Our experienced coaches can create a positive and supportive environment where your kids can grow, stay active, and develop a love for sports. Sports like basketball, volleyball, swimming, gymnastics, and even elite skills training. Join the fun and register. Give your kids a chance to be a part of something special. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Ackerman Urology is now servicing the World Golf Village area. If you have elevated PSA, prostate, bladder, or kidney issues, plan to see the experts at Ackerman Urology right away. Their new location off I-95 at International Golf Parkway.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
Love the hats that our friend Lee Smith brought. Aren't they great?
Absolutely. They're fantastic.
You're watching the stream, there's your hat. Isn't that great? Isn't that hat? We all
Go get one.
We all three got a terrific hat. Yeah, they have so much good stuff out there. Love the hat from the Players Championship. All right, Frangie Carlyon and JJ LaSelva with you. Thanks again to Lee. He'll be in next week preparing for the tournament. And then Lee's with us all golf season long, all the way through the summer, as we assess what's going on in the world of golf. He does Thursdays with us, and we certainly look forward to that, and we always do here on the program. Thanks to our friends at Big Chief Tire, the best tire company around. It's always Big Chief. Tires, alignment, brakes, oil change. They take care of all, and you can really trust them. You want that car running right now, there's someone you can always trust. All right, let's get back to the draft for a second. We are at the draft. We are in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We are at pick 5 on a Thursday night here in America. And the way it plays out, I haven't really done who goes where. But
and the TV broadcast has just gone to commercial as the Jaguars get on the clock.
Because, of course, it has. And so I don't know who the first 4 are, but let's say Cam Ward,
Abdul
Carter. Let's say someone has to have Shador, whatever. Okay. We go through 4. So
Will Campbell,
right? He goes. So Mason Graham is available at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter has dropped to 5. McMillan, the receiver from Arizona, is there at 5. And so is everybody else in the draft. You're on the clock, Jaguars. What are you doing?
You're taking Travis Hunter.
And explain why.
Because the whole point of it is to get it right. Travis Hunter is not going to fail in the NFL. Travis Hunter is going to be the floor for him in the NFL is a good corner. The ceiling for Travis Hunter is that he is a dynamic playmaker on both sides of the ball. And I understand wanting to build up the trenches. They certainly can do that with the second-round pick. They have 2 in the 3rd. They have 2 in the 4th. So I don't think taking Travis Hunter at 5 precludes you from addressing the trenches in the draft in some very high rounds. If you're taking a right guard high in the 2nd round, that's one of the 2 or 3 best guards in the draft. And so in looking at it, I just think Travis Hunter, for what he could be in terms of pure superstar, I just think the talent is too immense. And they do have a huge need at corner opposite Tyson Campbell. And I think he could help them on offense, particularly with somebody as creative as Liam Cohen appears to be.
I was hoping you'd get it wrong. Okay. Usually there's not rights and wrongs. Okay. I was hoping, maybe even leaning toward you getting it wrong. Okay.
That's usually a safe bet.
You have to take Travis Hunter. And here's why. Here's why that's the right answer. You know how you win in the NFL, Hayes? With stars. It's hard to find stars. I mean, it really is. It's hard to find stars in any sport, okay? The Mets think they might win because they got Juan Soto, JJ. He's a star, right? It's hard to find stars. And I think Mason Graham's going to be a damn good player. And by the way, if he turns out to be Aaron Donald, then he's a star. But there aren't many stars that play 3 technique. There just aren't. There's some really good players, but there's not many stars there. Aaron Donald was a star. I'll bet you can't name 3 or 4 in the last 20, 25 years that were true stars at that spot.
Correct.
Okay. Travis Hunter's going to be a star. Number one, he plays a position where stars play. He's going to be a star. So if you get a chance to get a star, which is why, by the way, there's no chance he's there at 5. I think the Jags interviewed him. I hope he's there at 5. I don't see the Jags moving up for him. So I don't think there's much chance he winds up in Jacksonville. But he could be. He might be Deion Sanders. I mean, he might be.
And Antonio Brown, all in the same player.
Correct. But
I mean Antonio Brown for being a good football player.
The good Antonio Brown. But the point is, I mean, he'll play some offense and returns, but he might be Deion Sanders. I think Mason Graham's good. I don't think he's Aaron Donald. All right. I think this guy might be Deion Sanders, who might be the best cornerback ever played.
Would it shock you at all if by the end of a year from now, Travis Hunter is considered one of the 2 or 3 best corners in the league? I would not be the least bit surprised.
I would almost be. This is going to be a dumb comment. Indulge me. I would almost be moderately surprised
if he isn't.
If he wasn't something like that. If he wasn't one of the 4 or 5 best corners in the league. I mean, Patrick Surtain, who now is that, you kind of knew there was a pretty good chance he was going to be one of the best 3-4 corners in the league, which is what he is. And so, yeah, I think Travis Hunter, if you had a way to get him, there's no way you could not, which is why there's 4 teams that are going to have that crack before the Jags do. He's not going to be there. Certainly,
I don't think
he's certainly not going to be there in a year where there's really no quarterbacks to run up there and bump everybody down. If there's 4 or 5 if it's last year, then maybe that's different.
Right.
That doesn't mean Shedeur Sanders can't sneak up there. I would not be shocked if Shedeur. I don't think he's going to, but it would not shock me if Shedeur Sanders you looked up and was a top 5, top 6.
These teams make big mistakes all the time,
and people and you have to have the quarterback. And if you see a guy that might be that quarterback, you can get lured into it. That's what we see all the time. But I don't think so. I think Travis Hunter is going to be a very good player. What do you think? What did you make of Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders at the podium today?
I will say with Cam Ward, I am a little surprised that he is also electing not to throw because I thought he had a real chance to be sort of the star of the weekend and really put some distance, almost maybe in the conversation of who's the best quarterback in the draft. So I do wonder because I wonder if because of their personal relationship, if for whatever reason Cam Ward's like, okay, well, if Shedeur is not going to throw, I'm not going to throw as a sign of like solidarity or whatever. But I think it's a mistake because I think Cam Ward at the combine could have put on a show, and I don't think Shedeur Sanders can. I just don't think he has the arm to do that.
I'm in agreement with you that the drop off between Cam's just arm talent and Shedeur's is more significant than people think. I think you're right about that.
And so if I was advising Cam Ward, I would have said let's do it. Because I feel like you can almost end it now, and that's a very powerful thing. I think by not throwing, you are. I think it's probably Cam Ward's going to be the first quarterback off the board, and I think there's probably a 75% chance of that. But I think if he had thrown in Indy and done the kind of job that I think he would have, I think it could have gone up to like 90%. He was going to be the first quarterback selected in this draft. So, I mean, I think it's a slight mistake. I don't think it'll hurt him because I still think he'll be the first quarterback taken and could certainly still be the number 1 pick if the Titans elect to trade out, which they might. And so, but I just think if you have a chance, have some killer instinct. If you have a chance to throw a haymaker that I think ends the competition, even if it's against somebody that you're friends with, I think you got to do that.
Are you surprised that Tetairoa McMillan's not running anywhere? He's not running it either his pro day or the combine?
That is such a shocking error. I don't know who is advising him on that. And they can sit there and say, well, you've got the GPS information. You know how fast he plays. I'm sorry. That's a mistake. To not run a 40 at all, is to me a really big mistake. And look, it is a question mark. I like Tetero McMillan, but I will say there are others that feel like it's going to be hard for him to separate. And if you're solely relying on him to win 50-50s, then is that worth taking a player in the top 10 when that's what he is? I think he can be more than that in the NFL, but you are seeing some experts that have him more as like a middle of the first round guy. And this decision is going to push him more to that because, it'll depend on the general manager and how comfortable they are with the GPS information that they'll be able to gather from his Arizona film. But man, I'd like to have that 40 just to validate it. Well, I think it's important to do it at either, but he needs to do it. He obviously is not going to do it in Indy, but I would recommend do it at your pro day.
I think he's going to be a very good player. I agree with you. I think he's from everything you hear about him, he's about all the right stuff. He's a football guy. He will be great in the locker room. I hear wonderful things about Tetero McMillan, but not running either place, you're now confirming that you're slow in the 40.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean you play football slow, but you're now confirming I'd be a 4.6 plus. You've now told the world that you're 4.6 plus by not. Right. It's the guy.
It's the equivalent of pleading the fifth.
Exactly. Well, it's the guy that gets pulled over and doesn't blow. I mean, you're pretty much saying, listen, there's no point in me blowing. I mean, I know what I was going to. You're saying it's pleading the fifth.
You have the right to plead the fifth,
right?
But it certainly doesn't usually reflect well on a jury.
Yeah.
If you get up there and plead the fifth on every question.
Yeah. So he's now saying. Now again, that's not saying he's a slow football player. That's not saying he doesn't play fast. To your point, what he's saying is watch the tape. I get it. But he's now telling everybody he won't run very fast in the 40 or he would have run it somewhere. I'm with you. I'm surprised. I'm not smart enough to know whether it's a good decision versus a bad decision. Are you better off not running, which is what he chose to do, or running 4.65? I'm not smart enough to know that answer.
I mean,
but I do know
make up an injury.
Yeah, but that's right.
Just something. Just say instead of announcing this, just say I'm not going to run at the combine. I'm going to run at my pro day. And a day before your pro day, say, I just don't feel, something just doesn't feel great.
That's a great point.
And don't run. Yeah. And then you don't have a 40, but it doesn't look like it was a premeditated, I'm slow, and I don't want it to be revealed that I'm slow.
You're confirming. And again, I'll say this. His point is, he's a really good player. So his point is, what I think he's trying to accomplish here, and I get it, is I'm not a slow football player. Don't judge me as a slow football. Jerry Rice never ran a fast 40. He's the greatest receiver in the history of the sport, and he always will be. But he never ran a fast 40. He had 2 or 3 gears, and he knew how to play. I think what Tetero McMillan is saying is if I run the 40, we know I'm running 4.6 whatever, or whatever he's going to run. I'm going to be judged as slow, but I'm not slow. I don't play slow, so I'm not going to run it so you won't judge me as such. I understand the messaging. It's just you probably had the best idea is don't run here. I'm running at my pro day, and then I tweaked something so I can't run at my pro day. That would have probably been the wisest thing to do. But either way, interesting decision. A lot of combine stuff all week long. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's talk some college hoops. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnick Chevrolet. Now look, as they begin 2025, Nimnick is so excited to offer even more choices and better prices for you, ensuring your car buying experience is second to none. And if you're wondering where to go for a better buying experience, it's simple. Nobody but Nimnick. So here's to another year of driving forward together. And don't forget now, in this new year means new truck time at Nimnick Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find the perfect truck at Nimnick. Available now, the all-new Silverado EV, designed to go the distance. It boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor, and ask about a terrific low rate as well. So who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Each one of us remembers when we felt it the first time, when you looked up and down those bleachers and saw 90,000 saluting alongside you. when you first saw a Gator.
1010XL.
Call the deck guys if you want a brand new deck pavers or more. Call 904-813-2474.
TheDeckGuysJacks.com. I'm Ben from Beard's Diamonds. My father and I buy our stones direct from the diamond cutters. No middleman, no big company overhead, no commission salespeople, and we pass the savings on to you. Before you buy anywhere else, remember, Beard's Diamonds will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Hi, I'm Battalion Chief Brian Mitzel, and this is K9 Garrett. St. Johns County Fire Rescue is proud to partner with the Players Championship to provide public safety and life-saving services here in Northeast Florida. It's 11 days until the Players.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's kind of cooling down right now. I love opening my windows up this time of year. If you're looking to upgrade your windows in your home, I want you to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Ask about their latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows and doors, rated #1 by Consumer Reports in all 3 main window categories. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. That's Pella Windows and Doors online at PellaJacks.com.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beaches Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tea time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beaches Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com.
Learn more about the beautiful game of soccer and its impact on the River City.
What a beautiful thing to behold.
Get an hour of soccer talk on the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour.
That's all I want to know.
Tuesday at 6 p.m. on 1010 a.m.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Homeowners, listen up. It's time to start fresh in 2025. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto is here to help take control of your finances in 2025 by lowering your house payments and consolidating that nagging debt. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Right now, Loan Pronto has some of the most competitive offers for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans, starting in the low 5s APR. If your current rate is over 6%, don't settle for paying too much. Even if you're in process with another lender, call Loan Pronto now. Lock in at a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. You can even skip your next 2 house payments. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Get your personalized Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees. Call now, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging in the mirror, fine lines, sun damage, redness? They don't have to be part of your future. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, and I can help you look and feel your best without invasive surgery or painful treatments. Imagine rejuvenating your skin in a relaxing, comfortable environment with minimal to no downtime. Smooth out fine lines, even skin tone, and restore that youthful glow. Find out how to look and feel your best at dermagnify.com. dermagnify.com.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update presented by Riddle Wellness. General Manager James Gladstone talked to JP Shadrick and John Osher up at the Combine earlier on the week. Gladstone opened up about why he thinks Cohen is such a perfect fit to lead the Jaguars.
Having worked with him previously, having followed his time in both Tampa Bay and Kentucky, it was clear, his approach was built for the modern game. And really the even more exciting thing specific to the Jaguars is it's built for the current talent that exists on the roster. His offensive philosophy, his marriage between the run and the pass, the multiplicity of the run game, the variety of the screen game, it's going to give this team a notable edge.
It's going to be very exciting to see what Cohen and Grant Udinski can do for some Trevor Lawrence and the offensive weapons coming up this season. It's 69 degrees at 5:04. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on the Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon, JJ LaSelva with you. As we continue along here, we're getting closer to the end of the college basketball season. The Florida Gators remain a top 5 team. They lost at Georgia as the number 3 team in the nation on Tuesday night, got down by 26 points on the road, battled back from a 26-point deficit, actually took a lead very late in the game, but then gave up a dagger of a 3 to Blue Cane and wound up losing that game, ultimately 88-83. Interesting game, didn't play well as a team. Certainly started slowly again, and that's been a bit of a pattern, and shot very poorly from the free throw line. Now, look, you're entitled to play a bad game. They're 24-4 and 11-4. That's the way the world is. Sometimes you play badly. But you can't continue to play badly because every game you're playing for a seed. Tomorrow night they're at home at 8:30 against Texas A&M, who's also a very good team, ranked 12th in the nation, at least for now. They've lost 3 in a row, but they're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, which means they will match up well with Florida. Other teams don't match up as well with the Gators. I'm not even sure Auburn does. But Texas A&M will match up well with the Gators. At home home tomorrow night at 8:30. I think Florida wins. I don't want to say comfortably, but I think they win comfortably. I don't think they need a shot at the end to win that thing. I think with game day in town, with a chip on their shoulder, yeah, Texas A&M's ticked off too. They've lost some games in a row too, but Florida's at home. I think Florida's the better of the two teams. I would be surprised if they lost the game tomorrow night. Further, Hayes, I'd be a little bit surprised if there's a minute 38 left and it's a tie game. I don't see that game tomorrow night. I think Florida wins the game. I don't know what the line is. What's the
Florida favored by 8.5.
I would think Florida's going to, if not cover, be pretty close to covering.
I would think so as well. This is my rationale for this game. Great teams don't lose 3 in a row. So Texas A&M isn't a great team. We thought they might be, but they've been sort of exposed. We kind of went through the schedules a couple weeks ago when there were 6 games left, and we talked about the road Texas A&M was going to have because they, at the time, were right there with Florida in terms of chasing that double bye, and they have fallen off. So, maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe Texas A&M, stuns us all with a surge to close the season. But in my opinion, if you're a great team, you don't lose 3 in a row for any reason whatsoever, because it doesn't appear like Texas A&M is dealing with some new massive injury. I think on Florida's side, I do think Florida is a great team, and I don't think they are going to lose a consecutive game, this one being at home, when they have had some close calls even before the loss to Georgia. So my guess is this is one of those buzzsaw games where you're going to blink and Florida's up 24-8. And I don't think Texas A&M is really going to get much closer. I don't think Florida will necessarily win by 30, but I do not expect there to be a lot of drama in this game. We talked about it Tuesday night. Will Richard's the only guy that played well. Well, Florida has 8 guys that can hurt you. So they were basically 1 of 8 in terms of guys. And if you take Han Logden out, who really has, not a huge role until, let's say they have 7 guys. 1 of 7 played well. That's not going to happen Saturday night. I think Walter Clayton will play efficient. He'll be explosive. Alex Condon has now had some more days of practice to round back into form. I think Thomas Houck now is more accustomed to the role that he had prior to the Condon injury. Aberdeen did nothing the other night. I think he's a really good player. I don't think he's going to have 2 games in a row where he struggles. Elijah Martin, I think, will play well. And they don't need all those guys. Florida doesn't need 6 or 7 to play well.
Right.
I mean, if that happens, they will win by 30. So I think Florida plays much crisper. You definitely feel a buzz early in the game that Florida is hot, came to play. And it'll be up to Texas A&M to weather that storm. But and Texas A&M is a better rebounding team. That's really not been the case all year when Florida's gone through this SEC gauntlet. A&M is plus 9.2. Florida is plus 8.1. So that is certainly something to watch. But I just think Florida is so much more skilled offensively. I think that takes over. Their balance takes over. Their depth takes over. And Florida wins the game by double digits.
Yeah, and I think so too. And then it leaves them 2 to play. I think at Alabama is going to be hard on Wednesday night. They might win, but that's a tough game. Tough place to play against a very good team. And then home against Ole Miss, another ranked team. But again, I think they'll play very well at home. So my guess is they probably finish 20. They're 24-4. I think they probably finish 26-5. They would be 13-5 in the league if it happens that way. What a marvelous resume.
Yeah.
And what a marvelous regular season that would be before you even get to the to the SEC tournament.
Yeah, and if that's the way it finishes, Florida will enter the SEC tournament, I think, playing for a 1 seed. I think they would enter the tournament as a 2, but if they were able, they'd have the double bye. So if they were able to win on Friday against what will be probably a quad 1 game, Saturday, which definitely I can't imagine that would be a quad 1, and certainly the final. If Florida was able to maybe get to the final of the SEC tournament, so go 2-1 as they did a year ago, playing an extra day, then I think that could be enough to push Florida up to the 1. Obviously, it's going to be dependent on what Auburn. Well, Auburn's going to be a 1. What Tennessee, Houston, I think Duke's a 1. I think they're locked in. So it's probably Houston, Tennessee, Florida, Alabama, probably fighting for those 2 final 1 seeds, and then at worst case, Florida's a 2 seed, which anybody would have signed up for that cares about the school would have signed up for prior to the year. So they're in a great spot, but I do expect to see an intense, focused, explosive team, and I think Texas A&M is going to catch Florida at a really bad time.
Meanwhile, in the Atlantic Sun, let me show you how streaky UNF and JU have been. UNF is the 8th seed in a 10-team tournament, meaning they're in a play-in game. They play Austin Peay at North Alabama. If they win the game, then they play North Alabama at North Alabama a night later. They play on Sunday against Austin Peay. UNF is 15-16 overall, 8-10 in their league. UNF won 3 in a row, then lost 3 in a row, then won 2 in a row, and now has lost 2 in a row. They've been really streaky, and it's been streaks of more than 1 game, and that's so they've been up and down. They had that. They played. You and I were there when they played at the UNF Arena. They beat JU 77-73, shot the ball very well, made 15 threes in that game. JU made only 3, but then they've lost 2 games in a row since then, including a home game to Eastern Kentucky, so that's where they are. JU has been equally streaky. Get this, Hayes. They won 7 in a row to get to 13-7 and 7-1 in the league. What a great start. Lost 2 in a row, won 3 in a row, lost 3 in a row, and have since won 2 in a row. Amazing, isn't it? Now, part of that's the kind of, I think, goofy ASUN schedule. It's just weird the way it lays out. But they, too, have been a streaky team. That leaves them at 18-12 overall. 2 wins from a 20-win season, by the way. 12-6 in the league, which got them a home game. They play at home against Eastern Kentucky on Monday, and then we'll see where they wind up going, possibly to Lipscomb after that. But what an interesting season for both of those basketball teams.
It really has been. I don't have high expectations really for either. I mean, obviously, JU's had the much better year. But it just – I don't get the sense, because kind of what you're talking about, can they go and win 3 games, or in JU's case, I suppose it's 4, or I mean UNF's case, can you go do that in one fell swoop on neutral or road environments for some of the, because JU will play at home, but then my guess is they're going to have to go on the road.
Based on what happens, but you would think, yeah.
You would think. And so I think obviously UNF can beat anybody in the ASUN. JU can beat anybody in the ASUN. But are they good enough to win 3-4 of these games in a row? I would be surprised. I think UNF probably wins the first one and loses the second. And JU, I think, probably wins the first one and loses the second.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if it plays out that way. JU trying to have a 20-game season for the second time under Jordan Mincy. If they win 2 more games, they also had a 16-win season under him, so they've been a good overall. UNF obviously had glory years under Matthew Driscoll, one of our favorite people, but that's hard to believe. I didn't realize the really good years at 14. It was 10 years ago. Matthew brought that up to us. It was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a fast 10 years. Maybe I'm getting old. Well, let me change that. I am getting old, but maybe I'm noticing the old. It was 10 years ago when they had that magical game against Upstate.
Yeah, that is hard to believe. And again, they certainly have the most dynamic 3-point arsenal in the country in terms of makes. There's just so many other things that go into winning a basketball game that, it makes you wonder, are they good enough on the glass? Are they good enough defensively to go and pull what is going to require some road upsets? Obviously we'd love to see a third Rumble for a spot in the NCAA tournament. I mean, if that ever were to happen, it'd be one of the most exciting local sports days that we've had in a quarter century.
Wouldn't that be great
for a spot in the NCAA tournament? I mean, my goodness. But I would be surprised if that even is flirted with.
Yeah, the UNF, by the way, was 21-12. They had a 20-game season, 13-3 in the league, as recently as the 1920 season. So it's not like you go all the way back to the 14 season. They had some really, really special seasons there for a while. But UNF certainly trying. So I'm going to root for Rumble 3. I think Rumble 3 would be magnificent. We'll see what winds up happening. I will remind you, we will be out at JU since they're playing a home game. We'll be at JU on the campus as they get set to play a home game coming up on Monday night and hopefully move on, play Eastern Kentucky, move on to the ASUN tournament. We'll take a break. Hays has headlines. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
1010XL is your home for NBA play-by-play.
Paolo Banchero and the Magic will have a weekend showdown against Scotty Barnes and the Raptors. Friday night at 5:30 on 1010 AM.
Hey, John, have you heard about the incredible offers at Randy Marion Cadillac?
They've got rates as low as 3.9% for 36 and 48 months on the stunning 2024 Escalade.
That's right. Experience luxury like never before. Whether it's the exquisite interior or the advanced technology, every drive feels like a royal experience.
Visit Randy Marion Cadillac today on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
And don't forget, Randy Marion is the king of price. Drive and indulge in luxury at Randy Marion Cadillac.
Plus tax tag title 999 admin fee with Resistol and approved credit.
Don't miss the Players Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
This is Daytona, the awe-inspiring spectacle of Supercross, and the most challenging course to witness the air-catching, adrenaline-pumping, heart-pounding action unlike any other race in Florida. Daytona Supercross. The biggest names battle it out under the lights at the World Center of Racing. Don't miss it. The gate drops Saturday, March 1st. Secure your tickets and trackside access today at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's
Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks, and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
If you're listening to 1010 and you're a parent, chances are your kids are playing sports. Well, check out i9sports.com with spring and summer registration open right now, including all new girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. i9sports.com, enter 1010 for a discount.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy, you look worried.
Worried? I'm apoplectic.
You're what now?
I'm freaking out, Jason. Stupid water heater crapped out, so I haven't showered since Thursday. I start smelling a little funky, blow my big corporate job interview tomorrow. I'll end up settling for some dead-end career selling spatulas on the internet.
Dude, stay cool.
There's nothing cool about a cold shower, Jason. I mean, I know how that sounds, but
Bueller Air and Plumbing can get a new water heater installed today. The day you call. You could be smelling fresh again by dinner time.
Wait, you can do that?
Put on these sunglasses.
Whoa.
Is that cooler?
Oh, yeah.
Well, life moves pretty fast. If you spend much more time smelling like this, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Staying Alive, one night of the Bee Gees comes to the Jacksonville Center for Performing Arts Thursday, March 6th as part of the FSCJ Artist Series. For a chance to win tickets, text PLAYLIST to the text line covered by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Staying Alive, one night of the Bee Gees. A tribute like you've never seen before. Experience the songs and sights of a full Bee Gees playlist performed live. March 6th at Jack Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to and should be yours. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
Ackerman Urology offers the most advanced options for improving men's health and vitality. Their board-certified urologists treat all prostate disease and sexual health issues. Call their new location at World Golf Village or visit AckermanUrology.com.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, it's great to be back home. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, let's start with the Jaguars. Let's just kind of start talking needs as we do get close to free agency, the start of the new league year. Let's take a look at the secondary. How do you view this? Cornerback 2 versus safety? Give us a state of the union when it comes to that secondary and what you might like to see addressed in free agency.
I think they need both. I think they need to add a safety to the mix. I haven't given up on the safeties they have. They've got good young safeties, but they've got to play better. I think certainly in a better scheme and a different scheme will help them. But I think they need to add safety. But they need a starting cornerback. I think if you could tell me Tyson Campbell outside, Jarian Jones in the slot, who I think is going to be a very good nickel corner and could play outside, but I don't think that's where he's headed right away. I think a starting corner. So I think whether it's free agency or the draft, Hayes, to your question, I think starting corner opposite Tyson Campbell is a bigger need.
I would agree. Let's get it to around the NFL. Myles Garrett says he will not do an extension with the Browns. If you're Cleveland, does this push you more towards wanting to trade him after just a few days ago publicly saying no chance we're trading Myles Garrett?
I think if it stays that way, yes. I think now the negotiations between the Browns and Garrett begin. They don't want to get rid of him. Why would you? He might be the best pass rusher in the league. He doesn't want to stay there. Why would he? It's a franchise that's really struggling. They don't know who their quarterback is. They don't know where they're headed. I think the conversations begin. My guess is he's too good a player to trade, even if that means you pass up, which could be some pretty good trade equity. So my guess is they'll do all they can not to trade 95.
Matthew Stafford is staying with the Rams on a reworked deal, so the quarterback carousel does not really get moving with a big name. Is Stafford staying in L.A.?
Yeah, you and I talked about this at the top of the program. We've talked about it ad nauseum, I suppose, like everybody else has. Why was that ever in play? I think you and I had that conversation, Hayes, and I still believe that. I don't know. I don't understand why that was ever in play. It shouldn't have been. And Matt Stafford began his career with Detroit. He had his glory year in Los Angeles. He should end his career with the Rams, and I'm glad he's going to.
Absolutely. The Giants are now trying to pivot, according to reports, and make a play for Aaron Rodgers. Would you like that move for the player or the team?
You know what? If you're the Giants, and since the Daniel Jones thing didn't work, you know what, Hayes? That's the one team I say, why not? He knows the market. He was just there. They're a team. They're a marquee team. They're a marquee brand, at least. You know, there's not a lot of teams that I think he makes sense for, but that might be one. Yeah, I kind of like it. I think people believe it's more a team like the Steelers, who are a quarterback away. I'm not sure they're a quarterback away, by the way, but I think that seems to be the consensus. Yes, I do. I didn't see that story, but yes, I do.
In terms of other teams looking for quarterbacks still, and again, I think this is good news for the Jaguars in terms of possible trading up or in teams wanting to trade up to get to 5 with the Jaguars. But let's sort of talk about Pittsburgh, Las Vegas, the Jets, the Titans. Only one team is going to sign Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
So who ends up being the biggest loser out of that group, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's a great point. Give me the teams again.
The Steelers, Raiders, Jets, and Titans don't seem to have a great answer.
The Titans have the worst roster of the group. The Raiders right behind them. I think Sam Darnold's going to land in Las Vegas to be paired with Tom Brady. That's where I think it's going to end. So I think they'll be okay. The Steelers quarterback situation is a mess. Right now, they haven't said they're moving on from either guy, even though you got to believe they're moving on from at least one. And I think their team's average is heck, but I don't think they're bad. It's not a bad team. It's just a very average team. The Titans are the team that I don't know what they do. That's the one team. I don't think Will Levis is the answer. They could take Cam Ward 1 overall, but I think they're a better football team if they take Abdul Carter. So they're the biggest mystery. They're the team in the most trouble of that group.
Let's get it to the Combine. Tennessee edge James Pierce dazzled with a 4.47 40 time. There was talk preseason that he might be the number 1 pick in the draft, that he might be Abdul Carter. That did not materialize, but he went into Indianapolis as a first-round lock, and now he's got real momentum to be a top 7, top 10 pick.
Yeah, James Pierce is a good player, but he didn't take over games. I was surprised by that. I thought he might have a Will Anderson type year. Well, Will Anderson took over games. He didn't take over games, but listen, in a league and an age where you have to find pass rushers, Hayes, he's going to go very high. He's a good player.
Travis Hunter, we talked about him early in the show. Good size. People were sort of, I think, kind of worried about his weight, particularly since he wants to play both sides. Checked in at 6 feet, 188 pounds. That will certainly be more than adequate to play physical football in the NFL.
Yeah, and he'll play bigger than that. He'll play in that 195 range like Dion did. No, he's going to be a very good player. The conversation you and I had earlier, if he drops to 5, even if Mason Graham and Ketterer and McMillan are there, do you still take him? Yes, you do take him. He's going to be he won't drop to 5, by the way. He's going to be a star.
Cam Ward has said he is not going to throw in Indianapolis at the Combine this week. Is that a mistake?
It's a surprise. But again, guys that are going top 5, why would they? What does he have to gain if he's going to go very high? Because he's got such a good arm, I thought he would throw just to show it off. He'll do it at his pro day. So I don't know if I'll go mistake. I'll go surprise.
Let's get into college football. Bill Belichick's North Carolina program was announced today in a bit of a curveball. They will be the focus of Hard Knocks offseason after no NFL team wanted to follow the disaster New York Giants.
Yeah, we might have been told when we were away by...
We were given a tip.
We might have been given a tip by, I'm not going to say any names, but possibly a former North Carolina football player who's on our Jaguars broadcast. But we kind of heard that was going to happen. Hey, look, it'll be great theater. Belichick's great. Hoodie's great theater. You know that? And what a great win for North Carolina because it's total exposure. I mean, it'll be great exposure for the Tar Heels. That's a win for North Carolina.
I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
I'm not a big Hard Knocks guy, but I'll watch that. I'm very intrigued with where that one's headed.
Even if it's like what I think it's going to be is a North Carolina controls every second of footage that's released.
Of course,
so I think it's going to be pretty much a total PR thing.
Agreed.
But I still am totally locked into watching it.
Me too.
The interactions that you will see, I think, are going to be really intriguing. Let's get into college basketball. The number 3 Gators host number 12 Texas A&M tomorrow night. Florida is an 8.5-point favorite. Frank, do the Gators struggle or do they get a comfortable win?
I think they win comfortably. I think they're ticked off. I know A&M's lost 3 games in a row too, so they're desperate like Georgia had been. But this is a road game. Game day is there. It's not the same as football game day being there, but I think it matters. I think the Rowdies will be crazy. I think Florida's ticked off that they lost to Georgia. I think they win comfortably in this game.
Florida State goes to number 2 Duke at 7 p.m. tomorrow. The Blue Devils are a 24.5-point favorite. Frank, do you believe in miracles?
Wow. A, no. B, 24.5-point. Boy, God bless the Noles. Some of the betting lines for both the football and the basketball team are just incredible. My goodness, they're just incredible. No, I think Duke wins and covers.
Yeah. You're getting close to having to fill out your bracket. So if you've been sort of
right around the corner,
waiting and putting it off and procrastinating to start kind of watching these teams, particularly in the SEC, tomorrow is a huge day if you're looking for something to do. In addition to obviously Florida, Texas A&M, how about this? You get number 1 Auburn going to 17th ranked Kentucky at 1 o'clock. Who do you like in that game?
Auburn. But that's a heck of a game. Love it.
At 4 o'clock, you get number 6 Bama going to Rocky Top to face 5th-ranked Tennessee.
Love that.
Who do you
game.
like in that game?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like the Vols at home. I like Auburn on the road, Vols at home.
So if the Vols win, then Alabama will be going into the Florida game coming off a loss, which would be interesting to see if the Crimson Tide could drop 2 in a row.
I think Tennessee wins.
Yeah, I would agree. I'll take Tennessee, and I will. I'll take Kentucky at home just in an upset. Why not? Just for fun. Auburn can lose and still be the number 1 overall seed, so maybe they're not playing with a lot of fire. Let's get to the NBA. Philadelphia's Joel Embiid is out for the rest of the season with a knee injury.
Yeah, I don't follow the NBA very close, but Embiid, who became a great player, but not a lot of great team results. He is so good. He has been in MVP conversation so often. You would have thought there'd be a title or a deep run for the 76ers, and it just hasn't been.
That is absolutely the case. We are going to pivot to pop culture.
Yes.
Because we've got quite a flashback for you, because today, back in 1983, we're marking the 42nd anniversary of the MASH finale.
I'll be darned.
Titled Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen. The episode was 2.5 hours. It concluded the 11th season of the series. The episode remains the most watched TV episode in history, drawing 106 million viewers. Were you a fan of MASH?
I was not. I watched it every now and then. I was never locked in. But I will tell you, on this list, the pantheon of greatest sitcoms of all time, where the original Dick Van Dyke Show always shows up, I would say MASH might just win that list. If you had the Mount Rushmore of sitcoms, I've got to believe that's right there.
I couldn't imagine that many people watching a TV show now.
Isn't that amazing?
It's
amazing.
just
Well,
a
the world
different
changed.
time.
Yeah,
Well, right. You had 3 channels.
Yeah.
And it was such a beloved show.
Yeah.
I
watched it some. I was never locked in.
Yeah. I was a little too. I kind of remember my dad enjoying it, but I was too young to remember the fever of the finale. But obviously, yes, that's a record that will never be topped in terms of ratings. We will get you out on our musical note of the day because also a flashback this week. Back in 1987, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors was released in theaters. The movie saved the franchise. The first is a classic, directed by Wes Craven, but the sequel, Freddy's Revenge, was a debacle. Dream Warriors is one of my favorite horror sequels. Wes Craven came back to work on it. Imaginative kills and way more personality from Freddy Krueger. Young actors in this one, Frank. Patricia Arquette and Lawrence Fishburne are in the movie on a budget of $4.5 million. It made $44 million. My dad took me to see it in the theater when I was 10 years old, and he doesn't like horror movies. Big shout out to Steve Carlyon.
Steve Carlyon, you were the best. But boy, does that explain a lot. Boy, I've got a far better understanding of how the last 37 years have played out. Knowing that.
Absolutely. This is the title song from the film, Dawkins, Dream Warriors. And shout out to loyal listener Chad for bringing this to my attention earlier in the week.
I saw him do that. I thought about taking the day off. Just kidding. Great job with always with the headlines. We will wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Auburn Tigers, who have been number 1 in the college basketball polls for most of the season, are the betting favorite to win this year's NCAA championship in San Antonio. The Tigers are plus 350, while the number 2 Duke Blue Devils are plus 375. The Houston Cougars are plus 800 to win the national championship. The Florida Gators are plus 1,000, Alabama at plus 1,100, and Tennessee at plus 1,600. The odds are out for the ACC regular season title. The Duke Blue Devils are minus 800, while Clemson and Louisville are both 1 game back in the standings. Clemson plus 600, while Louisville is at plus 1,200. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Duck Duck Rooter is the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, and we want to help you protect your septic system. Think about this. What would happen to your car if you never changed the oil? Septic systems are no different and should be pumped at least every 3 years. Lack of maintenance is the #1 reason for septic system failure. Call Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services today to schedule your pumping.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Mia here. You want to know what I'm so over? Resolutions. You want to know what I am into? The revolution, hitting the road in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. So what do you say? Join the Arlington Toyota Revolution and save big with financing as low as 0% on select new models. Or get up to $8,500 off select new Toyotas. Plus, every new Toyota purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty and 60-day exchange. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter-mile east of 295, or at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/0% for full details.
Hey, poker fans, the action at the tables is hot at Best Bet with over $600,000 in promotions paid out this month. Don't miss out on table game giveaways, 24-karat gold day in Jacksonville, Instapay boost at St. Augustine, and the daily high hand promotions at all 3 locations. Whether you're a poker pro or a newcomer to the game, everyone has a shot at winning big. Go all in and join us at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
1010XL celebrates African Americans who positively impacted the First Coast. I'm RJ Saunders, and I'll share Black History Month stories with you throughout February. Black History Month on 1010XL is brought to you by Instant Keys and McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and you got really cool things going on right now because there's new product coming in the showroom. Tell everybody about the Aprilia Demo Days.
March 11th and 12th. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to have the Aprilia Demo Truck. We caught them on the way back from Daytona Bike Week. They're going to be there. Come ready to ride.
Tell everybody real quick about Aprilia.
They are a bad Italian motorcycle. Nobody's ever ridden an Italian anything and said that wasn't fun.
Check it out. Cycles of Jacksonville. All the details on their Facebook page.
Jacksonville, get ready to spice up your night at One Night Taco Stand. Every Taco Tuesday, enjoy their mouth-watering tacos for just $2.99 and get your weekend started with 2-for-1 house margaritas. Find fresh Mexican street food, stiff drinks, and fun vibes at One Night Taco Stand with 3 Jacksonville locations in Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
What Major League Baseball teams have never won a World Series?
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
There are 5 Major League Baseball teams that have never won a World Series: Colorado, Milwaukee, San Diego, Seattle, and Tampa Bay.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Did you know your pup could take 30,000 to 60,000 steps a day at Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard? That's a whole lot of tail wagging fun with their best furry friends. At Dogtopia, they turn playtime into exercise, learning, and socialization in their off-leash, open play environment. Dogs build confidence, reduce anxiety, and stay happy and healthy, all while having the time of their lives. Visit Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard today.
Yo, E.T. here, and beat the winter blues with fun activities in Clay County. Some of my personal favorites are a hands-on aquaponics class at Reparation Earth, or diving into the action at Nakima Anime Bar, where you can join weekly gaming and cosplay tournaments. Clay County always has something going on. Plan your next date at exploreclay.com and share the fun at #ExploreClay.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out. You need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, where have we been in the course of the show today? Our friend Lee Smith stopped by. Always great to catch up with my buddy Lee Smith. He's the executive director of the Players Championship, and that bad boy is right around the corner. Hard to believe it's almost here. Really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to going out and being every day at the Players, as we always are. All of our shows, not just our show. We're certainly looking forward to that. We talked a little bit about Travis Hunter. Did the Jags take him if he's available? Well, of course they do, and that's what they should do. We wrapped up some combine thoughts. We talked about Matt Stafford staying with the Rams, and we talked a little bit about college basketball. JU on Monday night, we will be there at JU previewing their game against Eastern as they try and move along in the ASUN tournament. UNF on the road Sunday. If they win Sunday, they play again on Monday. Hopefully the Ospreys can get that done. And we talked about the Gators and Texas A&M coming up tomorrow night. I got a real important question to ask you.
Okay.
I asked Taylor this question too because I think y'all are both sick.
Yes.
When you watch these, does Jean watch these awful scary
Not
movies
really.
with
She's
you?
not. She's seen a couple.
Does she like them or is she normal?
She's normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you watch them. You've probably seen them all now. Okay. Now you have children that are 16 and 14.
Yes.
Are you damaging their lives?
I'm
too?
not, but I did show Jackson one of my favorite gangster movies the other night.
Gangster movies I like.
And he's 14. Have you ever seen The Usual Suspects?
Yes.
Fantastic movie.
Fantastic movie.
So before I left this planet, I wanted my son to know who Kaiser Sose is.
Yes.
So he is now fully aware.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, you're going to watch this movie with me, and you're not going to understand it at all.
Yeah.
And but that's fine.
And you're not going to see this actor in any new movie.
No, you're not.
Yeah. But
no, you're not.
But yeah, so he was a good sport. He watched it, he enjoyed it. He had a million questions at the end, and I told him the first time I watched it with some college roommates, and we immediately rewatched it.
Right.
Because it was the ending is so crazy that like we immediately went back to like rewatch it to see all the clues and stuff. But we had a great time. So I think the next movie we're gonna watch is either Braveheart or Shawshank Redemption.
7.
Okay.
Or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No,
by the way,
he's not big into horror.
I
don't think. I mean, he hasn't.
And by the way, of all the horror, I have no interest in horror movies. I think they're all just stupid. But for whatever reason, I watched 7. We went to 7 because I didn't know what it was.
7's
so good.
Hardcore.
I was damaged for a month.
Hey, I was too.
I wouldn't even call it a horror movie, but it's
just,
like a psychological thriller.
I mean, I was not the same for it. It was terrible.
What's in the box?
Yeah. I mean, right when they opened the box, it was terrible.
It was brutal.
It was just it was a terrible, awful. I mean, listen, you have to.
It is.
Yeah, you understand how the Frangies roll. We watch a bunch of Hallmark movies, and then we go outside to make sure our snapdragons are blossoming.
This is the antithesis.
That's kind of who we are.
Hallmark movie,
you know, I mean, that's so. I mean, 7 was rough.
7 was rough, no doubt about it.
I do have to report that the snapdragons are blooming.
Oh, good.
Okay, so my wife, her happy moments are when the snapdragons. Do you know what snapdragons are?
I do.
They're fantastic.
They
tall,
are. I like.
You get those rockets in there, and my wife's always in a good mood.
Yeah.
They only bloom for like 2 weeks a year, but those 2 weeks are just fantastic. So there is that. So, anyways, but I'm glad that you.
That was the band from the 80s, Snapdragon.
You're thinking Soup Dragons.
Okay.
Well, no, the Snapdragons are just the flowers that bloom 2 weeks a year.
Yeah,
they're
Snapdragons would be kind of a cool name for a band. And then, of course, there's Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, there's all kind of dragons in music. There really are. All right, I think the Gators win tomorrow night. I look forward to going out to JU on Monday. Hope the JU can make a run again. Hopefully, but I can root for Rumble 3 until it doesn't happen.
We all can.
They're on different sides of the bracket, so it certainly could happen. And I will say this: I'm like you. I don't expect that it's going to happen. I'd be too much of a homer for both schools if I said I expect it to happen. But I do believe JU's been two of the last 3 conference finals. They haven't won one yet, but they've been 2 of the 3. I would not be surprised if they got there. They started the league year 7-1. They were sole possession in first place when they got to 10 wins. They tumbled a little bit after that, but they're very good. Now they would love to get Steph Payne back, their post player, who I don't know if he's got a broken foot or not. They're not telling anybody, nor should they. But I think they could get there. They were in first place by themselves in the league for much of the year. UNF was not, but UNF can shoot it. And UNF, it's hard to get when you catch them on one of those stretches where they're making everything, which they will do. I mean, they may make 17, 18, 19 of those things, you know. So I don't expect it either, but it'll be fun. So we look forward to being out at JU on Monday night as we get closer and closer to the players and closer to free agency. I'm telling you, I told you this yesterday, Hays. The fact that the players isn't sneaking up on me because we get ready for it and Lee comes by every week, and free agency snuck up on me. It honestly feels like I was on a plane heading to Indianapolis for the season ender, and then Black Monday was the next day. We blinked, man, and the staff is hired, the general manager is hired, the coach obviously is hired, Tony Baselli's hired, and here comes free agency.
Tomorrow is March 1st.
I know. Yeah, that's
which is such a great sports month.
It's a great sports month. And I'm glad we got out of February because I feel like most of February was 12 degrees below zero the whole month.
Particularly
Didn't it feel
early.
like that?
Oh my gosh.
And so it did. So do I. I am. No, but I am. I'm looking forward to March. But I mean, we are 1 week away from legal tampering.
It's incredible.
A week from Monday away from legal tampering.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's been fun talking about the new leadership and hearing from them and everything, but I think we're all ready to see
players matter.
The plan.
Yeah.
Let's start to see what the plan looks like, and we're not going to know that until we start seeing who they sign in free agency. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And it's new guys picking. It almost seems like that. It was once Dave Caldwell got here in 2013. He seemed to be sort of connected to Trent because he hired Trent, and then Trent's been here the whole time. I'm not knocking either guy, but it was Dave bringing in Trent there for the longest time. Everything was sort of interconnected. Well, now it really does feel like a new regime. This is as new as it felt. The last time it felt this new was when Dave and Gus got in there.
That's right.
It's
12 years ago.
It's the last time it felt totally new, no connections to the past, no very, very new and fresh. It feels about as new and fresh as it has felt in many, many years. Almost back to the start. It almost feels like, well,
I think I agree because in 2013, you knew they were basically an expansion team in terms of the talent. I don't think they're even remotely close to that with this squad. I think they have enough talent to win if they are run well and if they have a good offseason.
Yeah. So you're exactly right. So it'll be fun to see. All right, let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
What'd you shoot?
I don't keep score.
How'd you play?
I go out there for health reasons.
How'd you hit it?
Put it well today off the tee. Short game needs some work, which means I need to play a lot more.
Yeah, you do. I think you should. I'm disappointed you don't play. Would you play Cimarron?
I did.
Okay.
And we're going to have a big tournament coming up there on the eve of the Masters. It's going to be the first ever skip work, come out and play golf event.
Love it. I love that.
We're going to have some former Jaguars. We're going to do a show out there from 6 to 8 and have some drink specials.
That's an awesome idea.
It is. It's they've really put a lot of money and effort into totally rebuilding. It doesn't have a good reputation.
Yeah.
It does not. They have really fixed everything, and it's become one of my favorite courses in town.
I take lessons out there. Jim Ragland, my buddy,
Jim's a great guy.
Yeah, Jim. So Jim gives me lessons. So we haven't played the course yet. We're going to do a playing lesson coming up. But the course, I'm serious now, just from the range and his little hitting area, looks beautiful.
It's always been a great layout.
Yeah.
They just had, previous ownership had trouble. It's expensive to run a golf course and keeping up with it. And Rick Shoemaker is really bought in, and they totally redid the clubhouse, indoors, outdoors. So it was maybe the best day of the year to play golf. I don't even think I broke a sweat. It was like 73 degrees out this morning.
It was gorgeous.
It was outstanding.
Well, I'll be out there getting a lesson on Monday.
Oh, good. Sounds good.
What's coming up tonight?
We're going to talk about my round.
Okay, good.
We're going to go tee to fairway to green, okay, and how many shots it took to get there.
Can't wait to hear it.
No, we real excited about the next 2 hours. Last opportunity to talk with Jaguar fans before the weekend. I feel like I'm being teased here, being teased there, and I'm trying to figure out what does this team need to do. They have money to spend, they have draft capital. I'm really kind of like in a state of confusion right now, if that makes any sense.
I get it.
But it's a good problem,
and we'll know pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got all that coming up. That should be a lot of fun.
All right, Rick goes into the night, and Rick will be talking about the same thing we're talking about. What are they going to do? Which way are they headed? So it'll be fun to see. Folks, that's our program. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy Rick Ballou as he goes into the night. That comes up right now. We'll see you on Monday live at JU as the A-Sun basketball tournament begins. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.